Hey, hello, investors and future investors. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tim, and on this channel, I show you how I use my portfolio in order to make weekly revenue. For today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use charting on Robinhood. Yes, that's right. I'm going to show you how to use the charts for free on Robinhood and how this can help you grow your portfolio. Welcome to Investment Gains. Let's jump right into it. Welcome back, investors and future investors. Now, I know a lot of you guys out here do have a regular 9 to 5, so you're not able to monitor the stock market on a regular basis or throughout the day. Not that you need to anyway. If you implement the strategies I use, you don't even need to look at the stock market very regularly, probably once a week or probably once a month. However, that does not mean you can't learn how to use chart in order to grow your portfolio. That being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use one of the most trending stocks right now, which is going to be NVIDIA, ticker NVDA. Okay, so here we are on NVIDIA. And right before we go ahead into the charts, I'm going to show you how go ahead and set up my alerts. Now, for NVIDIA, like I said, NVIDIA is trending right now, and everyone seems to want to have NVIDIA as part of their portfolio, and so do I. However, I'm not going to take a lot of risk and just jump into the stock. I will go ahead and do my due diligence. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I set up alerts if I were working a 9 to 5. So you're going to go over to the bell icon right here and you're going to go ahead and click into that. Once that open, it now gives you the opportunity in order for you to set up what we know as price alerts. So there are two. You can either set up price alerts or you can set up indicator alerts. With the indicator alerts, you have to be more familiar with the graph types in order for you to set this up based on your personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and show you the price alerts and how to go ahead and set those up. So with the price alerts here, if you go into it right now, you're going to see you could have two choices. You could go and set up one for if the price moves above a certain price or if it moves below certain trigger. So for this one, I have it set up that if the price moves below 105, then I will get an alert. So as you can see, NVIDIA is trading at 102.49. So I did get an alert that came directly to my phone. So what does my first alert do? My first alert tells me that NVIDIA stock price is going to a territory where I could start monitoring it. Now, as a backup to my first alert, you do not need to have a backup alert. This is just how I set mine up. So as a backup to my first alert, I have a second one if the price go ahead and moves below 95. Now, how do I go ahead and know what prices in order to put here in order to set up my alerts? Well, I'm going to go ahead and show you that using the charts. So let's go ahead. We're going to get out of this. And now we're going to use Robinhood Advanced feature. It's going to be this little box right here that says Advanced. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click into that one. Now, once that's open, you're going to have something that shows up like this. Now, as soon as you open this for the first time, I will let you know your chart is not going to look this decent. The reason why it looks this way is because I set it up based on my personal preference, and I'm going to walk you through the setup, so do not worry. Now, if any of you guys are struggling to make money with options, please check out the first link in the description below. Maybe we can help. Go ahead and join the weekly income team. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through the time periods first. Then we're going to go through the indicators to the left. Now, the time period are pretty straightforward. 1D stands for 1 day, 1W stands for 1 week, 1M stands for 1 month, 3M stands for 3 months, and you go ahead. Year to date, 1 year, 5 year, and max. Okay, so if the line chart does not work for you and you want to go ahead and set it up as a candlestick chart, then you go ahead, you hit this little icon right here, and you have an option to switch over to whichever one you want. Now, if you go ahead and click the little gearbox to the side, this tells you what hours you want to monitor on your chart. Do you want to see only the time frame when the market opens to the market closes, or do you want to see extended market hours? That's for you to control as well. So the time frame is pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and go into the alerts to the left, which I use in order to grow my portfolio. So the first one is going to be price. So the orange ticker highlights the line that is being used for the price. So the orange line right here has to do with the price. So as you can see here, right below the price, you're going to have a little blue ticker, and that says MA200. This stands for the 200-day moving average. The MA stands for moving average, and the 200 gives you the time period. and that is highlighted in blue. Now, the reason why it has different colors, it makes it easier for me to differentiate what I'm looking at. So if I were to follow the blue line right here, you can see how easy it is to identify the blue as opposed to the orange. Okay, now we're going to move down to the third icon, and that's going to be an MA50 or a 50-day moving average, and that's highlighted in pink. So if I were to trace the pink line here, you could see the pink line stands out from the orange line and also the blue line, once again making it easier to see what you're looking at. Now, the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average can be used based on your own strategy or your own time frame. And we're going to get into that just a few. Okay, coming below, you're going to see RSI 50. Now, the RSI is one of the indicators I use a lot in order to get into or to get out of a stock. The RSI simply stands for Relative Strength Index. I'm going to go ahead and explain that to you. Now, the RSI chart is below the actual graph right here. Now, the RSI goes from 70 all the way down to 30. Now, the reason for that is that 50 would be a middle mark. So, any stock or ETF that's moving above the 50 mark towards the 70 mark is a good indication that that stock or ETF is going into overbought territory. The closer it is to 70, the more overbought the stock or ETF is. Now, vice versa, any stock, the 30 indicator, that means that that stock or ETF is going towards oversold territory. And the closer it is to the 30, the more oversold it is. So, how do I use this in order to grow my portfolio? Well, I'm glad you asked. But right before we go into that, if you're getting any value from this video right now, please go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share this with anyone you think might benefit from its content. Let's help each other out. So I go ahead and use the RSI 50 as one of my indicators to tell me whether I could get into a stock or whether I should get away from a stock. So let's just use NVIDIA since we have it open, and we're going to go over to the 1-year outlook of NVIDIA. Now, with the 1-year outlook of NVIDIA, you can see that RSI right now is at 49, which is the midway mark. So NVIDIA is becoming very attractive at the price it's at right now, which is about, I think, $102. If NVIDIA continues to go below that 102 price, then I would start to dollar cost average into the stock. Or if I want to use NVIDIA in order to do options, then I'm going to decide which strategy I'm going to use. So this is how I decide which strategy to use. If NVIDIA goes ahead and goes to RSI of anything below 50, then I'm going to go ahead and purchase 100 shares in order for me to sell covered calls. So I'll be using the covered call strategy the further down that NVIDIA goes below the 50 RSI. Now, contrary to that, if NVIDIA starts to reverse and it starts going up above the 50 RSI towards the 70, then it's not like I'm not going to trade the stock. I'm just going to change the strategy. So the strategy I would use is now going to be the cash secured put strategy. If you guys need any help with these strategies, either the covered call strategy or the cash secured put strategy, I have several videos on the channel that's there to help you out. And that is how I use the RSI as one of my indicators in order for me to make an informed decision before getting into any stock. Okay, so that is my very simple chart that I use. Now, if you're a more advanced trader and you want to get even more indicators, feel free to hit this button down here that says add. You go ahead and hit add, and then you could add some more indicators. One of the indicators you could add, which most traders use, is going to be the Bollinger Bands. Let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and click into it, and it should appear right here. So how does the Bollinger Bands help most traders? Well, anything to the top of the Bollinger Band shows you that it's a bit too pricey, and anything to the bottom of the Bollinger Bands tells you it's a price where you want to start looking to get into the stock. So the Bollinger Band is just another indicator that a lot of traders use. The strategies I teach on this channel, I do not use the Bollinger Bands. Now, in order for you to narrow down the amount of indicators you have, you simply go to the right of it, you click into it, and then you could remove it. So there you go, Bollinger Band is removed. Now, how do I use this information in order for me to trade better? Well, I did show you how I use the RSI in order for me to decide when to get into a stock or what strategy to use for the stock. Now I'm going to show you the 200-day moving average. Now, the 200-day moving average is a very good indicator that I use because stocks always have a retracement. Stock goes up, stock goes down. That's just how the market operates. But with my strategies, I always like to acquire stocks at anywhere around the 200-day moving average. Now, let's go ahead to the 3-month chart and let's see where NVIDIA is trading. So at the 3-month chart, NVIDIA is trading above the 200-day moving average and it's trading right here. The 200-day moving average at the 3-month chart is going to be around $90. So that's how I came up with the $95 indicator alert that I showed you at the start of the video. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, the price and the indicators are always going to change based on the time frame. So as you can see here, Nvidia is trading at a price above the 200-day moving average. If we were to go to a different time frame, that might not be so. Go ahead to the 1-month chart, and now you can see the price is below the 200-day moving average. Once again, these indicators are here and they're designed to help you out based on your own personal risk tolerance. So, looking at the 1-month chart, that's how I came up with the price of 105. So, one last thing we're going to do on the chart is we're going to go ahead and check out the bottom. These charts here, these candlesticks here represents the volume. The volume tells you when traders come into the market and whether traders leave the market. The red and the green also tells you when we have lots of buyers and lots of sellers. But like I said, most of the strategies I teach on this channel does not involve you using all of these indicators. This is just here as additional information for you to use based on your own risk tolerance in order for you to make an informed decision and grow your portfolio. Now, thanks for watching, and if this video helped you out in any way, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until the next video, keep pushing your investments. But right before you go, there should be 2 videos appearing right now. Go ahead and click any one of them in order to continue being part of the weekly income team. Thanks again. Keep pushing your investments.